How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. So today I finally got the hood wrap in for the hood of the car. I went ahead and just ordered gloss black vinyl wrap to match the rest of the car, and I went with, trying to look for it, I went with the Vivid vinyl wrap. I looked up some videos on YouTube to try and figure out which wrap appeared to be the best as far as the color black goes, and it looked like Vivid vinyl took the cake on that. So ordered me some Vivid vinyl. I think it was like 5 by 6 feet, something like that, and it was around $40–50 to get it shipped here. So not too bad at all. Definitely better than the price of getting the hood painted. So I'm able to save a little bit of money there, and I basically just didn't want to get the hood painted. I didn't want to have to pay for that, so vinyl wrap is what I ended up going with. Another thing that I got in the mail the other day was my new clutch. So this is the McLeod RXT clutch, and there it is. Super nice looking clutch. I'm still waiting on a few other parts to get here, but I have got the clutch and flywheel so far. Still waiting on the input shaft as well as, you know, the throwout bearing and all that other stuff. I actually still need to order a few of those other parts, but yeah, I think what I'm gonna go ahead and do now is pull the car out and wash this thing because it is super dirty. It probably hasn't been washed in like 2 or 3 months. And that's just because I haven't driven the car very much, just because of the clutch issue, and then as well as it's been super cold outside. It like ended up snowing here in Texas for like 2 or 3 days, and so nobody was able to drive anywhere for a little while, and so this thing just sat here. So I'm gonna pull it out, wash the thing to get the hood cleaned so that I can prep that for the vinyl wrap, and then we'll get it started. Alright guys, so I finally got the car all cleaned up, and I feel so much better that it's finally clean after so long. What I went ahead and did was I washed the whole car down, cleaned the wheels, all that stuff, and then I went ahead and washed the hood one more time, and while I was washing it, I clay barred it at the same time. So it's nice and smooth. Any dirt and debris that was on there should be gone. I'm not gonna rub it down with alcohol just because I remember trying to do that one time on the roof of the silver car, and it made the wrap super sticky. And I usually have really good results whenever I just wash it down with soap and water, clay bar it, and then it sticks really good. The bumpers on my truck, the front and back and the tailgate, are all wrapped, and that's the way that I did it, and it's held up great. Used the Vivid vinyl wraps on that as well. You don't have to do it that way, just kind of try and figure out what works best for you. And so that's what works best for me, so that's what I'm going to do with this thing. Now, the next thing that I need to go ahead and do is just make sure that the underside of the hood is nice and dry, as well as take these hood inserts off. Alright, so as you can see under here, it's a little wet. We got some water dripping in there. Another reason why I don't really like the Terminator hood is just because water, when it comes through here, gets all on the tanks and stuff like this, and so I have to come in here and re-dry all that off. Looks like there's a little bit of it right there. I mean, shit, it's even dripping on the fuse box, but I think that's, you know, obviously the water runs right there, so that's pretty normal. But little things like that just kind of irk me when it comes to water. I definitely don't like water going on places that it's not supposed to. But I guess if nobody's had issues with it so far, I haven't had any issues with it yet, so just gonna keep it dry as much as I can. So the hood inserts are finally out, and now I went ahead and took the windshield wipers off, and I sat them right there just because it saves a little bit of space behind here whenever I'm gonna start wrapping this side of the hood. I think I'm probably gonna end up loosening the hood nuts just a little bit, so that way whenever it's sitting like this, I can kind of put something under there and pick it up, raise it up a little to get the corners done, because that's gonna be a little bit difficult as it is right now. But I'm gonna go ahead and start on the front side and work my way back, and then worry about that when I get there. So another thing that I'm gonna be using is a heat gun, and I got it hooked up right here, ready to go. So whenever I lay it on and it seems like there's some air bubbles or something on the underneath the wrap that I need to get off, this heat gun is gonna come in super, super handy. So I got this thing ready to go. I got the vinyl wrap sitting right there. Alright guys, so the GoPro actually died on me while I was filming. It was just taking me a lot longer to do the hood than I thought it would. It took me about a few hours, and the main reason was just because I found myself constantly doubling back over some of the work that I would do, and then I kind of forgot the proper method to do it, and so it just took a lot longer than it needed to. But as you can see, the vinyl wrap is on the hood, and it looks pretty decent. There's some spots in the light. I'm pretty sure it can show up on camera, but there's a bunch of little like spots, and I think that's dirt that got underneath the wrap. I kind of forgot the proper method of wrapping, and so like what you want to do is you want to lay it all on, and then you want to stretch out all the corners and get it as flat as you can, and then work out all the grooves. And I didn't really do it that way. I would get too focused on certain spots, and then I would forget that, okay, I need to do this area first, and then I'd need to pull the whole thing back up and then work out another area, and so I definitely didn't do as good of a job as I could have. And there's a lot of those little spots like I showed right there that are sitting up here in the front of the hood. So I'm very curious to see what this wrap is going to look like out in the sunlight. But I still need to put the hood vents back on, so I'm going to do that real quick, and then I'm going to go ahead and drive the car out into a parking lot or something, and we can see what this hood looks like in the sun. See how well it matches, see how smooth it looks and whatnot. It definitely looks black. It definitely looks like it matches the car pretty well, and it looks really good in the garage. It looks nice and glossy. Definitely look into Vivid Vinyls whenever you're doing your vinyl wraps. And let's pull it out, see what it looks like. There's always so many cars parked here at this spot now. I guess it's because they're working on this building over here. I need to find a new place to go. Alright guys, I think we found a nice little decent spot here to check out the hood real quick. I just came to the local park near my house, so let's take a quick look at this hood. So as you can see, I mean, it matches pretty well. It's a little bit lighter. It's not as dark as the actual paint, but it's still, it looks pretty damn good. And those little like spots that I was talking about, I mean, you can only really see them when the light is like shining right on them. I've noticed too that, you know, fingerprints show up pretty easily on the wrap, so kind of got to be careful when touching it. But yeah, I mean, overall, I'm pretty happy with how it came out. If I would have taken a little bit more time, or maybe done a little bit more research on how to properly wrap a hood, I probably could have done better in some spots, because there's a lot of little dots and marks right in this corner, but looks pretty good. One thing that I did notice though is that the bumper had a little scratch right there. I don't know if that was from whenever I was working on it and maybe the cable hit the bumper, but I don't know. Little stuff like that always happens, but it can always be fixed. I think now I definitely need to do some polishing onto this paint. It sucks having a black car because I feel like I just washed the thing and now it's already dirty again, but oh well. I'm getting a little scared because every time I drive this thing, the clutch is feeling worse and worse. It just grinds a little bit more and more every time. But I got a whole different transmission that I'm planning on putting to this thing with a new clutch and everything, so not too worried about the damages that are being done. Show that 250 240 who's boss. Some guy driving it with his AirPods in. Yeah, unfortunately the Mustang is going to take the cake on that one today.